The notebook in the well. In the summer of 2021, workers cleaning an abandoned property discovered an old stone well hidden behind overgrown trees. The well had been sealed for decades. According to local records, nobody had used it since the early 1970s. The workers expected to find debris, old tools, perhaps a few animal bones. Instead, they found a notebook that should not have been there, because many of its pages described events that occurred years after the well had been sealed, and some of those events had not happened yet. This is the mystery of the notebook in the well. Forgotten places often hold forgotten objects, boxes, photographs, letters, items left behind and lost to time. Most tell ordinary stories. This notebook did not. The property stood on the edge of a small farming community. For decades, it had remained abandoned. Nature slowly reclaimed the land. Trees covered old paths. Vines swallowed fences. Even longtime residents barely remembered the place. When cleanup crews arrived, they discovered a circular stone structure hidden beneath thick vegetation, an old well. Its wooden cover had collapsed years earlier. Curious workers lowered a light into the opening. Near the bottom, they spotted an object trapped among debris, a notebook. Despite years underground, much of the notebook remained readable. The cover contained no name, no date, no identifying marks, only a faded drawing of a tree. Investigators carefully dried the pages, then began reading. At first, the contents appeared ordinary: weather observations, farm activities, notes about local residents. But something quickly stood out. The entries lacked dates, and several described events nobody could explain. One entry detailed a severe storm, trees falling across roads, power failures, flooding near the river. Residents initially assumed the writer described a historical event. Then researchers compared the details to weather records. No matching storm existed, at least not until 2023, 2 years after the notebook was discovered. When an unusually powerful storm struck the region, the details matched almost perfectly. News of the notebook spread quickly. Historians, journalists, researchers, everyone wanted answers. Who wrote it? How old was it? Why was it hidden in a sealed well? Paper analysis confirmed the notebook was genuine. The materials appeared decades old. There was no evidence of recent forgery, yet several entries described modern events, events the writer should not have known. While examining local archives, investigators discovered a possible connection. In 1971, a schoolteacher named Samuel Price disappeared. Price lived less than a mile from the abandoned property. Despite extensive searches, he was never found. One witness claimed Price often carried a notebook. Another remembered seeing him walking near the well shortly before he vanished. The connection seemed promising, until investigators found something impossible. Several notebook entries referenced events occurring long after Samuel Price disappeared. Near the back of the notebook, researchers found a partially completed passage. Unlike previous entries, the handwriting appeared rushed, uneven, nervous. The writer repeatedly crossed out words. The final readable sentence stated, "They know where I am now." The entry ended abruptly. The remaining page was blank. Folded between two pages was a hand-drawn map. The drawing showed roads, fields, nearby forests, and a location marked with a simple circle. Investigators visited the site, expecting perhaps another abandoned structure. Instead, they found an empty clearing. Nothing unusual, at least initially. Months later, after further excavation, workers discovered a rusted metal container buried beneath the clearing. Inside were photographs, letters, and a second notebook. This notebook belonged to Samuel Price. Its final entry described receiving anonymous letters warning him to leave town. The date matched the week before his disappearance, yet the notebook contained no explanation for what happened next. The most unsettling discovery came from the original notebook's final page. Investigators initially believed it was blank. Only after digital enhancement did faint writing become visible, a single sentence, written lightly enough to escape immediate detection. The message read, "I buried this before they arrived." No one knows who they were, or why the writer feared them. Today, both notebooks remain preserved. Researchers continue studying their contents. Some believe the predictions were coincidences, others suspect an elaborate hoax. Yet no theory fully explains how a notebook hidden for decades appeared to describe future events, or why it was abandoned at the bottom of a forgotten well. The mystery remains unsolved, and somewhere within its pages may still be answers nobody has found. Who do you think wrote the notebook? Was it connected to Samuel Price's disappearance?